area.
I could do that.
We're in the wings. We're in the blue room here. Green room. Green room. Well, no, I'm called in to try and facilitate. Are we ready? Hello, everybody, friends and neighbors, citizens of Grand Forks. We're here today to honor some of our citizens who are, like others, many others in the community, are volunteers. But from time to time, we get to sing for our usually unsung people in the community. So this morning we'll start with a round of O Canada. Bev Tripp will lead us.
All right, get your singing glasses and gear here.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Lorraine Dick and Chris Moslin are stellar volunteers in our community and will be honored today in this little informal ceremony. Welcome, Richard Canning, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Previous Mayor, and Mr. everybody else here that's here, and Mrs. that are here to help celebrate our friends in having done something that's really important in our community. So I'd like to now turn it over to Richard, who can tell us all about this award.
Okay, well, thank you, and thank you all for being here to really appreciate the hard work of a couple of citizens of Grand Forks. This is Canada's 150th birthday. I've been involved in a lot of celebrations. I'm sure you have been celebrating in your own way. We have so much to be proud of in Canada, so much to celebrate, the natural beauty of this land. And I'm always saying in Ottawa that I am happy to represent the most beautiful riding in the whole country every time I drive through here. It's so great to, I know the boundary country always feels left out and lost and tied between the Okanagan and the Kootenays, but it's such a beautiful part of my route when I'm going from one end of the riding to the other. And today, just driving down through the Okanagan, through the vineyards and orchards of the Okanagan, up Anarchist, and through the beautiful Kettle Valley, it makes it easy to do all that driving. People think it's a chore for me. I just love it to see this country. So we have that beauty, but we also have the communities in throughout Canada. The communities that are made up of people like you and people like Chris and Lorraine that really run this country, make it work. These are the people that bring the communities together, do the work. They always say, the world is run by the people who show up. Well, these people have shown up. And, the more I talk to people throughout the riding, the more I get to know each community, the more I meet people like Chris and Lorraine who do the hard work for nothing, they're volunteering. And those are the people that really keep this country going. It's not the MPs or the MLAs or the mayors, with all due respect, or though those people are important, but it's the volunteers that really keep us going. And seeing the smoke here today, yesterday I dropped in on the emergency center in Penticton that was receiving evacuees from the fires. Again, more people stepping up to help out in that situation. And I know that the Kettle Valley had their share of that a couple of years ago when we had the terrible fires, especially over towards Rock Creek. But I know Grand Forks had a big scare at that time as well, and all the people that helped out there. But so there's just a myriad of people that really work hard to keep this country going. So I want to first of all thank everyone who is a volunteer, who is so important to making our country the country that we are so proud of. But here we are today to present some awards to Lorraine and Chris, and so these are the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers, and I'll first talk about Lorraine, and as one thing I'll say, you know, Facebook gets a bad rap sometimes, but it's a great way to get to know people, even though you don't really spend a lot of time with them. And I'm Facebook friends with both Lorraine and Chris, and I notice Lorraine's Facebook picture of herself is actually a plea to get out there and volunteer. So it just, I think, is an indication of that spirit. And you know, Lorraine has been a long-time resident here in Grand Forks. Ties to the land, ties to the community, and has been volunteering in many ways. And I'll just read from the statement here: starting the community garden, assisting with the community volunteer income tax program. That's a program I hear a lot about throughout the riding, how important it is to help people with their income tax, especially lower income people who are then able to access a lot of government funding, which they wouldn't be able to if they weren't doing their income tax. So it's very important for those people. Habitat for Humanity, another program throughout my riding that is so important and really especially active here in Grand Forks. The Whispers of Hope Thrift Store, the Community Kitchen, the Fall Fair, that's certainly where I see Lorraine as well, and keeping the public informed on numerous issues. She received the Grand Forks City Certificate of Merit for 2016 in recognition for her outstanding work in the community. I would just also add, through Facebook, I know Lorraine has championship chickens as well. It's dear to my heart. My mother, when she was young, was a poultry judge at the PNE, so I have had chickens of my own. I don't right now because I spend too much time in Ottawa to really pay enough attention to my chickens.
Like all birds. Yeah, that's
I like all
right.
birds, whether I'm eating them or eating eggs or enjoying them out in nature. So without that, I'd like to present the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers to Lorraine Dick. And this is what it looks like. A beautiful silver medal and a pin with a heart. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Bear with me, I have a little bit to say. Thank you all very much. I want to thank my mom for instilling me in the love of helping others. And especially for the volunteer income tax program, I want to thank Karen Head, who's not available to be here today because of the smoke in the sky. But Karen Johnson and Ursula Fleury are standing there, two of my longtime volunteers with the income tax program. There's also Virginia Holmes from Greenwood, Jennifer Jenkins and Terry Mooney from Christina Lake. And with their dedication, we're able to grow the volunteer income tax program every year. And we now have Christina Lake all the way to Beaverdale. Yeah. This year alone, we get almost 500 returns. Woo! Isn't that?
Yeah.
I want to thank Evelyn and Peter Brown for organizing this little ceremony, making it, and for everybody here being here to make it a memorable one. I want to thank Dick for agreeing to present these medals, and for Sandy for emceeing. I also want to acknowledge Chris for his untiring devotion to the building and maintaining of our trails, which are a memorable tourist attraction and a source of local enjoyment. And I want to end with, as Mayor Conrad said last fall, that I paraphrase, our community is built on volunteerism. It is our major industry. In closing, I want to remind everyone what the famous philosopher Unknown said. He said, volunteers are not paid because they are worthless. They are not paid because they're priceless.
Thank you. Way to go, Lorraine.
Yeah, thank you, Lorraine. So, moving on now to Chris, and I first met Chris last year when I was riding on my bicycle, which was kind of an unknown adventure to me. I wasn't sure how it was all going to work out, and I started in the cusp and cycled around here, and I was staying overnight at my wife's cousin's place, Lorraine Barg's place in Fife, and I had invited people to come and cycle with me on the trail portions of the route, and there in Fife that morning was Chris. So Chris showed up and we cycled down to Cascade, and he said there might be a couple of people there, and here was the whole Grand Forks Cycling Club, all with their black and yellow shirts. It was really quite a welcome and a great riding into town, and so I'll be doing that this year. I think I'll go around the other way just to make it seem like a different route, but I'll be back here whenever that, what's this?
August the 26th.
26th, so
Yes.
there's going to be a big celebration here that day to celebrate the opening of the new trail surfacing and all that Chris has been so hardworking, just now that I've known Chris, and again I'm a Facebook friend and I see all the things he does, it's so impressive how much time he puts in, and just here's just a short list of the things that Chris has done with regards to trails in the Boundary area. He founded the Boundary Rails to Trails Society in 1991. He was a founding member of Trails BC when that was formed. He was responsible for decking the Cascade Trestle, decking the Nursery Trestle, and then redecking it. Helped create the Trans-Canada Trail route through Grand Forks. He composed and mapped the new Walkabout Trails guide last year, and led the effort to install a new surface on the lower North Fork Trail in 2016, and led the effort to upgrade the Kettle River Heritage Trail in 2017, and that's what I assume we're going to be celebrating in August. So, that's just a few of the things. That's like one out of every three in the list. I didn't want to go on and on, but Chris is a very hard-working, active member of this community, and these trails are so important to the community, both for people like yourselves that live here and want to recreate and get your exercise, cycling over to Christina Lake or the other way, or up the North Fork, but also to bring in people from around the world to enjoy this beautiful country. There's more and more people that want to use these trails, cycling trails, for their holidays, and for the smaller communities through the southern interior BC. These trails are so important for the economy of the region. So again, Chris is receiving the Sovereign Medal for Volunteers. It used to be called the Governor General's Caring Canadian Award, and I don't know, maybe you got both. The name switched while he was getting the award. So with that, I will just, again, it's the same beautiful silver medal and pin. Wear it with pride, Chris. We really thank you for all your hard work.
I too have a very short little thing that I'd like to say. We stand here, Lorraine and I, and there's no way either one of us could have won these honors without a huge amount of support from our community, our families, and our friends. So in a short speech, like Lorraine, I have to say some thank yous. First, I'd like to start with the city and its staff. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for being here today. Over the years, this city, this council, and previous councils have shown tremendous support for the absolutely amazing pool of volunteers that blesses our community. Whether it's the air show, the baseball tournament, CannaFest, you know what I'm talking about. I would also like to just mention thank you, city staff, for your patience with me all these years. And it's been a long time. Many times I've added to the confusion. That's what I've done. But their patience and their community service has really paid off. We have built a city renowned for its accessibility and its trails that move even the most infirm closer to the natural world that sustains them. I must also thank Richard Canning for his offer to present this medal to me on probably one of the busiest days of the year. His volunteerism is well known, and his naturalist skills are well known, and it makes an honor for me to receive this medal. Thank you very much. And I want to thank Lorraine, who all these years has put so much passion and energy into our community. She has been a leader, and we are the better for it. I'm in awe of all you do. Okay? Then I'd like to thank all the other trail volunteers. You know what? Canadians love trails. We are at once enthralled and awed by our landscape. And trails are the magic gate that connects us with those experiences. Together we have built, and we will continue to build, the paths that lead our community to better health and a stronger relationship with the natural world. Finally, I must also thank my family, for it's them who have shared my time with for so many years because of my mania for trails. Without their love and their approval, much of what I have accomplished would never have happened.
That's right.
So here's to trails that move us and shape us.
Welcome, everyone. And I can't even begin to express anything else but to echo what those two volunteers have just stated about our community, and to them especially. Probably awards should be given to many, many more, because there are so many volunteers out there. And it is indeed because of them that we are where we are here in Grand Forks. And a special, again, recognition to Lorraine and Chris. Wonderful job. Pillars of society.
There are books going around for each of Chris and Lorraine's benefit for you to sign to say your words of congratulations. So please make sure that you put your words down, because we're very happy that you were here today. Thank you, everybody.